with the Cowboy.
Welcome and thanks for riding with the Cowboy. Well, a lot of great news from free agency. As we all know now, Baker Mayfield, 3-year, $100 million contract, 50 guaranteed. Re-signed Mike Evans prior to signing Baker, or re-signing Baker. Got Levante David, franchise tag Anthony Winfield Jr. And we went out and from free agency and got Jordan Whitehead, which used to be our safety when we won the Super Bowl, back from the Jets. And signed a couple of defensive backs, one from the Jets, one from the Texans. And we picked up a couple of guards from the Giants, the Lions, and the Eagles. Trying to fill up that center of the line like we talked about on the show previously. So we're actively going in free agency as everyone else is, going out and getting the players for next year's league before the draft next month. So Buccaneers are doing a great job so far in free agency, addressing their needs. They still need the edge rusher. They need a running back and a linebacker, but they're doing a great job of what they're doing. They got the core players from last year back, and they got them for more than 1 year, so they won't have to do this again next year. There's a lot of good things happening with the Buccaneers in free agency. A lot of other teams are making moves. Kenny Pickett again traded to the Philadelphia Eagles this week. Russell Wilson from the Broncos to the Steelers. Justin Fields from the Bears to the Steelers. A lot of things moving around. As we all know, Kirk Cousins from the Vikings to the Falcons. So a lot of great moving parts in free agency here. Trying to set up for next month's college draft so they can see what they need to get in the draft. What they can't get in free agency now, they're getting the draft next month. We'll keep you posted here at Sports Talk with the Cowboy on anything else happening with the Buccaneers. But as far as free agency goes, you keep tuned in to your sports on ESPN or your local sports on 8 and 13. You'll find out what's going on as far as signings. The main core of our signings we've already took place. And most of the major signings have already took place so far in free agency. So there's still a lot of players out there without contracts, but if one of them gets the eye of one of the general managers, they can sign a contract to any one of them. We'll keep you posted here on what goes on in the next show if we sign any recognizable players in the meantime. And we're going to move on to the Tampa Bay Lightning, who've won 2 games in a row, which is big for them because they're inconsistent and have been all year. They really had a tough time of it. They're still in the playoff hunt. There's about 15 games left in hockey before the regular season's over, and they need to make the playoffs. They're in the playoffs if it was to end today, but they need to continue to win. And all year long, they've had a tough time with Vasilevsky being out hurt. Nikita Kucherov's had a great year, MVP year shooting the puck, and that's why we're in the playoffs as we are now. Stamkos has had a good year. We've got a lot of young players, and these players are going to have to learn. And experience is only going to be taught by the season, and that's just how our season's been going. Anybody that's followed them, I know you're the Thunder for the Lightning, and you've been following them, so you know as well as I do what's going on there with them. We're going to move on to the Rays, 1st of April, first game in regular season, spring training. We're still difficult trying to figure out our pitchers. You know, we've lost Glass now. We've got a couple of them with Tommy John's out for the year. Sugar Shane McClanahan's out till 2025, so he's not playing any this next year. But you know, we got issues with our pitchers. We got to get 5 pitchers for the starting rotation. Right now, we got about 2, and the rest of them are trying to make the team. So there's a lot of good experience out there for him to be seen in actual games and see which pitchers he's going to make in that 5-man rotation, because that's really going to set the stage for where your season's going to go. We'll keep you posted on the Rays. They continue to have spring training games. They beat Baltimore yesterday. I think they're playing the Toronto Blue Jays up in Dunedin today. And we'll keep you posted here at Sports Talk with the Cowboy what transpires before 1st of April when the Rays take the field for real and opening day happens. We're also going to get you ready for UFL, which is United Football League. That's the XFL and the USFL. Both have 4 teams in it, both in different conferences. And it will start the last week of March. Matter of fact, the Saturday before Easter, it'll start the 30th of March. And we'll keep you posted before we get there about the new spring league. We also, last week was the 73rd run into the 12 Hours of Sebring. The Acuras won in a dramatic fashion the last couple laps over the Cadillacs. We had a serious wreck with a Cadillac. I flipped upside down there last year's winner. But Sebastian Bardot and Scott Dixon and his group almost won the race, but the Acura came up, took it over, and the Taylor Andretti team won their first major IMSA race, and in the Triple Crown of endurance racing, they won the 12-hour Sebring in a great and fantastic race last Saturday out at Sabine International Raceway. This week, Circuit of the Americas in Texas. There'll be a road race for NASCAR. They'll be heading to Texas to get on a road course and hope Michael McDowell and the 34 Loves team, Front Row Motorsports, has a good running. And as far as any other sports concerned, we're getting ready for the Masters first week of April, which is the first major of the year, and up in Augusta, Georgia, and we'll keep you posted on when it gets closer. The Players Championship was this last weekend. We're going to have the Valspar over in Tampa, up at Palm Harbor, the Copperhead course, in another week. So we're going to have a local golf tournament closest to the studio here in Palm Harbor near Tarpon Springs up next week. The Valspar PGA Tour will be coming into Tampa. Keep you posted on the Valspar when we get here. Until next show, be good to your neighbor, give him a lending hand, and God bless you. Cowboy out.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?